Oh, hey, Mr. Mackie. How are you doing, young man?
I'm good, meteorologist Scott Havens. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. I don't know if people realize, but when people say young man or young lady, they're paying tribute to Michael Mackie and stealing his line.
That is my line.
Do people steal your lines?
Thank you for that shout out, young man. Well, I don't remember what the name of it is. Perglapsa blah 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 blah. It's a long convoluted term for facial blindness. Brad Pitt also has this. It's actually a medical condition. Yes, where if I have not seen somebody for an extended period of time, I have no idea who they are. Like literally no idea. Proglapsia something. I don't remember the name, but Brad Pitt has it, and it is the thing. And so if I do not instantly know your name when I meet you, it's because I have absolutely no idea what your name is. So I've covered it up for years by saying, well, hey, young man, senator, doctor, girlfriend, sister, friend. Hi, Paul Fogel. Hi, Paul.
Oh, don't pretend we don't know who Paul Fogel is.
Oh, see, from the text line, prosophagnazia. How do you pronounce that, Scott?
I don't know, but Paul
prosopagnosia. That's what I have.
I'm dyslexic. I'm not going to get it, but I'll be seeing Paul here shortly. But as Paul tunes in and tells us where he's watching from, we want to highlight people that are listening to the show that are here for the guests, not us. So let us know Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. Let us know where you're watching from, and if you type it, we will probably say it. But Michael, I feel like you got to give yourself a little bit of grace. I call it the 10,000 hour rule. You've met 10,000 people and you've interviewed 10,000 people. So that's not fair. You shouldn't have to remember everyone. That's not a normal intake of people.
All right. That is fair. But thank God when I go to your speakeasy events that everyone wears name tags. Thank God. Because I would be doomed.
Keep it on there. But I'm curious. We should probably try to study this a little bit more. I think Sander probably is a little bit ahead of us. That's running the technology behind the screens. But I started really kind of forgetting names, I would say maybe a year ago. And I was killer at it. I think there's a critical mass. So when did you feel like you started maybe not knowing everyone's name?
Okay. I don't know if you know this negative information about me, but 14 years ago, I suffered a stroke, and that was one of the effects of the stroke, is that it completely scrambled my name face recognition to the point where you will literally know exactly who I am, and I will have nary a clue. If it's been like more than 6 months, I got nothing.
Well, the people that always know the right answer is Bestway International and Evardy Construction.
True.
Because Bestway International, they'll deliver for you, and Evardy Construction will build it for you. And they remember all of their clients' names, unlike Havens and Michael Mackie. We don't.
No, we do not. So, yes, I'm tickled that we have we have a new sponsor and then a veteran sponsor, and it's good to have them on board. And it's good to see you today, me pitch hitting today.
No, you're running the show. I am the color commentator, but I probably need to ask your advice. I'm the worst pitch man ever for Bestway International and Evardy Construction. I need to like that smooth theatrical writing, really to just plug it in right at the right spot.
Okay, duly noted. I'll help a brother out next time we do this. I'll do that segue. How about that?
You do it all day, every day. I like to do it because right before the guests come on, I like to be really bad so they know that the average Joe does, they can do it too. But we have two guests as we start playing the music and bring them in. They are pros. So they've been on many podcasts and they host podcasts. Number one, Cody Akins.
Cody Akins, you were so close, Scott. You got a 50-50 shot.
Yeah. Well, number two is Jacob Elyachar.
Yes.
Welcome.
You got it.
If I can pronounce Elyachar, it's just because I have practice. No, it's totally different.
Okay, we gotta kill that music. That music is driving me crazy. That is a lot of music.
Good. It's the frat guy music. It's not popular. Michael, take it away.
All right. Well, first off the bat, welcome to both of you. Cody, we're going to start with you. Cody, right off the bat, who are you? What do you do? And how did you get to Kansas City?
My name is Cody Akins. I own Akins PC Repair. We help residential and small business clients with their technology needs. I like to act as that voice inside your head that says, I wouldn't click on that if I were you, even though a lot of people tend to do that. I was actually born and raised in the Kansas City area, and this has been my home. I bounce around between Harrisonville, Belton, and Raymore. I've had a couple of stores in the area, and that's pretty much my story.
Nice. Well, what I want to know is how did you become the IT guru that you are today? By the way, I did notice, thank you very much, that you are up for the best IT and computer services in the Pitch Best Of category. So as you guys are watching the show today, please go vote for Cody under, what is it? Goods and services, I think is what you're under.
Yeah, goods and services.
All right. Anyway, so how did you become an IT guru? That's what I want to know.
Google helped a lot. Well, I was actually always just naturally really good with computers for some reason. Really can't explain it. But I did go to school for 4 years for it. I do have an associate's degree in computer systems and network administration, but I'm naturally inquisitive and just love to tinker with stuff, especially when it comes to networking and things like that. Just making computers talk and seeing which changes I can make and what combinations I can come up with when I'm building.
Well, Lord,
computer and security networks. So yeah,
Lord knows you have fixed my computer many a time, Cody Akins. So you deserve a medal. So there you go. And you've also, where are you located at for the masses? You're out in God's country, I call it.
My office is based in Harrisonville, Missouri, but my remote services allow me to service the entire Kansas City area.
I'm sorry, you cut out there. You're located where?
In Harrisonville, Missouri.
Great, sounds good. Hey, Cody, we're having just a teeny bit of audio issue with you, so you might want to back off your microphone just a tiny little bit. You're kind of coming up a little overmodulated. And I don't know if it's on our end or your end, but I'm going to move over to Jacob while we do some finessing in the background. So, Jacob, who are you? What do you do? And how did you get to Kansas City, my friend?
All righty. Hello, everyone. My name is Jacob Elyachar. I'm a digital content creator that specializes in podcasting, social media, and blogging. I help organizations tell their stories. When I'm not doing that, I'm the host of the Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar podcast, now in celebrating its 5th anniversary season. I have welcomed people from all across the entertainment and lifestyle industry, including Michael Mackie as one of my guests. So I am very lucky. I've had conversations. 1 minute I've had a comedian. Next minute I could talk to a reality TV legend. Next minute I could talk to an Emmy-winning journalist. Or I could talk to the latest up-and-coming Instagram and TikTok influencer. And I've been born and raised in Kansas City. I'm also a twice boomer in Kansas because I went to school at University of Colorado Boulder from 2007 to 2011 and was in New York City from June 2017 all the way to May 2021.
What I want to know is, how did you start your podcast? What was the genesis behind it? You're kind of a reality TV, what would you call yourself? A reality TV aficionado?
That's the right word, Michael. I am a reality TV aficionado. So it started way back in 2011 when I started my blog, jakes-shake.com. At the time, it was the height of the Great Recession, and finding a journalism job or any job in general was like finding a diamond needle in a golden haystack. So I started my blog, jakes-shake.com, and I did interviews with people from all across the industry, including some legends such as Cyndi Lauper, Dolly Parton, and Gordon Lightfoot, and the late Kenny Rogers. And I've interviewed, and I was actually visited sets of American Idol, America's Got Talent, and American Ninja Warrior. By 2018, I was
apparently if America is in the title, you're there.
Absolutely. So by the time 2018 was rolling around, I was getting a little tired of logging all my interviews, and I wanted to transform my interviews into a podcast. So I asked Brett Walgamon, who's a well-known reality TV commentator, to come on my podcast, and slowly, one by one, we grew to 324 episodes.
That is quite impressive. And this is a fun fact I didn't know. You and Havens went to high school together. What?
Absolutely. I was
Are
about
are those purple glasses, Jacob?
Oh, yes, a little bit. Yeah.
They look very nice.
Thank you so
much. My mind is blown. Are you guys the same age? Like you graduated together and everything?
His brother's a year younger, right, Jacob?
Yes. Aaron is 2008. I am 2007.
Yeah. So it's a small world. What was something unintended that you really loved about interviewing all these folks that you didn't think you were going to love?
I never thought I would get access to that. I never thought in a million years I would have access, like speaking on the line with 20 other reporters, trying to get my question into Dolly and Cindy, or having one-on-one time with Howie Mandel. I never thought I would do that.
That's mind-blowing. Well, as we see if Cody's microphone is working a little bit better, Cody, we want to do a little test 1, 2, 3.
Is this any better?
Yeah, it's a lot better. So, Cody, as we start the shot clock for 3 minutes, what is
Cody, use your inside voice. Maybe it was you were shouting last time. Not necessarily, but use your inside voice. We'll see what happens.
Thank goodness we're all friends here, so we can help each other. Cody, what is the most pivotal part of your career?
It's going to sound crazy, but when one of my stores was destroyed, I used to have two locations, one in Harrisonville and one in Blue Springs. And due to a fish tank flooding, my Blue Springs store was destroyed back in 2018. And it gave me some time to kind of reflect and see that I'd overexerted myself and stretched myself thin and didn't really put the thought into my business. I was focused more on increasing my footprint than my skill set. And by cutting back and going back to my one store and being able to oversee my team and focus on my business a little bit more as far as helping my customers instead of the growth, I think that made a huge change in the way I operate today.
Cody, I've known you for 100 years and I've never heard this story. I did not know that you had a fish tank incident. I'm sorry that happened.
Such is life.
So we now learned about Michael Mackie and a stroke, and now we heard about a fish tank. And so I always like to inject humor into those things. But do you ever tell a joke about the fish tank destroying the store?
I knew when I walked into my store and I could feel water on the floor, something fishy was going on.
Oh, there we go. See, I knew it. I took the risk, and Cody knocked it out of the park. So, Cody, what was one thing you learned about digging into your clients that really grew your business?
When you work in cybersecurity and you're dealing with computers and data and things like that, you get to know your customers personally. And that connection is what makes you good in this field. They're not just some mark. When something is going wrong, you feel a personal obligation to make sure that that's taken care of. Michael Mackie, for instance, had a situation where he just wrote a huge article for something and his computer locked up. We immediately connected, and I jumped through hoops and did everything in my power to make sure we were able to get in there and recover that file. We actually got his whole computer back, but I really wanted to come through for him, and I feel that's because we have that personal connection that I try to make with a lot of my customers.
That's cool. When you help out Michael Mackie or Jacob Elyachar, you're really helping out like 1,000 people, because then they tell everyone about it. What's for you a lesson that you've learned in terms of growing your client base over time?
You don't want to overexert yourself and focus on what you're good at. A long time ago, I tried to do a little bit of everything. I did website design, security cameras, cybersecurity, computer repair, phone repair. In that time frame, I've gotten rid of my website design and my security camera business so that I can focus more on helping my customers with their actual IT needs.
And real fast before we switch over to Jacob, you too are on a podcast. You guys are both podcasters. Tell me more.
I am a co-host of the Jonathan Weir Show. I am mainly a sports specialist. Jonathan does bring me on every once in a while to just have a little bit of fun. We actually talked Power Rangers and not sleeping at night on the last episode. But I like to recap the Chiefs games because Jonathan and I are both huge Kansas City fans. So we try to do an episode where we preview where we think we're going to blow out the other team. And then we always do a follow-up episode where we didn't blow out the other team, but at least we won.
That seems to be the theme. So, Jacob, what was the most pivotal part of your career?
I got to say the most pitiful part of my career was basically when I was in New York City. I never imagined that I would have the access that I would have to attend epic records like parties, listening parties, or go work with the Manhattan Neighborhood News Network or volunteer their time. And also work with Tech Times, where I was working with my friends Elise Strauss and Ashley, and we were writing 5 articles, 400 words or more per day. It taught me to be a better journalist. It taught me about strengthening connections with people. And also it helped me say, I can do this. If I can write these articles and if I can actually build connections up, it would actually make me a better journalist. And also as for working with organizations, I got to say, helping the Jewish Family Services with their 100th and co-plan their 120th anniversary, ranging from building relationships with vendors, researching and doing scouting for potential sites, and working with my team. And it was amazing to see all 4 events come about. And I learned that if I can help be not only a great team player, but also be able to utilize skills that I would never have thought that I would be able to add to my tool belts.
And Jacob, you're kind of on the job hunt right now. Tell all the viewers what does your dream ideal gig look like?
Well, thank you so much, Michael. So what I'm looking for is basically digital marketing manager positions for at nonprofits or at media companies, so I can help tell their organization stories. I have a vast years of helping organizations such as the Freelance Exchange, Jewish Family Services, and Jewish Federation of Greater Kansas City tell their stories using social media and the internet.
And you're also one heck of an event planner too.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, yes. I've actually, during my time in Jewish Family Services, I've actually helped out with planning events for the chaplaincy department, where I planned 4 events in a span of 8 months.
And those are probably not small events.
Absolutely. There were 2 volunteer events and 2 community services for spiritual renewal before Passover and the high holidays.
Well, Jacob, Cody, Scott, and I all like to go to events, so I can't wait till you get your new gig and we can come to one of your new fancy schmancy wingdings.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Quick question. Where do you rank curiosity on your superpowers? Is it 1, 2, 3? What do you feel? Where does curiosity rank?
I think it ranks number 7.
Oh, do you know 1 through 6?
1 through 6, I probably would have to insert all the scout laws. So, trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, and clean in reverence.
Woo!
Wow. Okay. Did not see that coming. All right.
Well, I'm a scout.
I got that memo, Jacob. Yes. So, what I want to know is, and this goes for both of you, but we're going to start with Cody. What are your big boy goals for 2025? How's 2025 shaping up?
My goal is to reestablish my team. I did have a mass exodus, unfortunately, where 3 of my staff members have left me, and I had to kind of start from the ground back up. I've got my first member back. I'm hoping in December to bring a second person back in. But for 2025, I would really like to increase the amount of commercial accounts that I service. I really love working with small business owners. Obviously, being a small business owner myself, I get to see the ins and outs, and I get to work with tons of different professions, lawyers, chiropractors, dentists, auto mechanics. So I get to see a lot of professions from the back end, things that we wouldn't normally see throughout the day. And it gives me a different perspective on life.
And what were we kind of talking about yesterday? You were looking for new, I apologize because I can't remember. You were looking for new monthly clients in what regard? You wanted
So I have started a monthly support program to kind of help small businesses keep track of their IT costs. We start out at $300 a month. We offer remote support, cybersecurity, and data protection for up to 10 devices in an organization. And my goal is to have 20 of those clients by the end of 2024. I currently have 4.
Well, as you know, I am your number one fan, so I don't have enough good things to say about you and all your IT services. So, people, if your company is ripe for the picking and you guys don't have any cybersecurity things going on in the background, Cody is your man. So, especially if you are a solopreneur, entrepreneur, you have a small business that needs an assist, needs a helping hand. Hey, Jacob, so what is your 2025 looking like? I know that you're on the prowl for a new gig, so fingers crossed that happens in Q1.
Thank you very much. So in addition to looking for a new gig, I'm looking forward to expanding the Jake Steak with Jacob Elyachar podcast into season 6. And this time I am looking for, I need your help with the audience-wise. Please subscribe to my podcast on Apple, the Jake Steak with Jacob Elyachar podcast on Apple, Amazon Music, Spotify, Spreaker, and also iHeart. I am looking for guests who have the ability, who are known for being tastemakers in their industry, people who have worked in media, also people who've been on reality television, and also lived in Kansas City area as well. I would also like to see, I'm also trying to need help how to get sponsorships and how to take the show to the next level of excellence. Like maybe to my next 5,000 downloads or even up to 8,000 downloads. So I'm looking for all that help and more.
Who's your dream interview? The one that is still on your must-have, must-do list?
You already interviewed Michael Mackie, right?
Well, I mean,
absolutely.
Everything is downhill from there. But who's on your who's at the zenith of your must-interview list?
Since America's Got Talent's finales tonight, Mr. Simon Cowell. Simon has played a huge role in my career because I miss American Idol. I've been a fan of his since 2003, and I've actually had the opportunity to be on part of the press calls for 2021, where I actually got a question for him. But I would love to have one-on-one times with him, and also I would love to sit down with Bobby Bones, hold a copy, and I would love to, and any of the ladies of The View. So those are some of my pretty lofty goals.
People always ask me, because you and I both have that in common. We both interview celebs. People always ask me, do you ever get nervous? Well, do you think you'd get nervous interviewing Simon Cowell, or would you just crush
a little bit? Because Simon's been a part of my life since I was in 8th grade at Oxford Middle School when I watched the second season of American Idol back in 2003. So I got to say, it'd be a little bit nerve-wracking, but however, I got to remember that this man has helped me with the careers and introduced to a lot of talent. And I would not have gotten on several guests on my podcast if it weren't for his show.
That is deep. I love it. I kind of want to ask you and Cody, the question is, where do you get the courage to be so transparent? Like, Cody, I really appreciate you sharing, things of your company and the goals that you had. And then Jacob, same with yourself. Where does that courage come from to just tell people how you feel?
In my everyday life, or at least in my business, I have to deal with people's most personal information. I mean, you have to trust me not to violate your confidence. You have to trust me to dig into your private life. And I mean, I see tons of things. People come to me when they're most vulnerable. Their computer's locked up. They've lost all their pictures. Their phone screens are cracked. They have voicemails of loved ones that have since passed. They're counting on us to take care of it. Wow. I mean, these people share their deepest worries with me, and I try to make that personal connection going the other way.
What's the one piece of advice you would give to every single person watching today who has a computer? I'm guessing back up all of your stuff.
Back up. I cannot preach that enough. At least 5 times a week, I am having a conversation with somebody. There's nothing I can do because their phone got dropped in water or their hard drive's encrypted and they lost their password. There's just, I tell them everything's lost and there's nothing I can do about it. There's so many backup services out there, iCloud, Google One, OneDrive. I have backup services. Just backup, backup, backup. In today's technological world, it is the easiest thing you can do.
So I know the clock, we're a little off on the clock here, but Jacob, same question. I'll ask you, where do you get the courage to be so authentic? And then Michael can ask you his great question as well. And then after that, we'll hit the road. So where do you get the courage to be so authentic?
I believe it started with my mom and dad, Gloria and Matthew Elyachar, and also incredible teachers such as Ken Thomas, Kathy Dugan, Sherry Unruh,
Nice.
the late Ike Zale. Those people instilled a lot, and also my scoutmasters I met through Troop 61 and the professor I had, C.U. Bowler, and even my mentors in media like Michael and also Julie Cortez, Becky Wilson, and on top of, and then also Andrew Heo and Bill Herbrick. So many mentors. Rob Lowe, I met so many, Tess Compliment, I met so many mentors, and those people taught me a lot. And without them, I wouldn't be the person I am today.
And then Michael had a question about what piece of advice you would give to people watching the show.
Exactly. That's what I want to know is, Cody, when it comes to, like we talked about the backing up your computer, Jacob, what piece of advice what nugget of wisdom, pearl of wisdom would you give our viewers today?
I got to say this. When you're on social media, make sure you think about what you post. Think about what you post because you don't know who you are going to influence, number one. Number two, you do not know when it may come back and bite you. So make sure make sure you have a fine line between keeping it to yourself and making what you wanted the public to see.
And also, the internet is forever.
Absolutely.
Forever. Right, Cody?
Yeah.
Yeah. So same with song lyrics, like when Kesha said, waking up feeling like P. Diddy, you know?
Oh, God.
He has since changed that lyric. We're going to end on a high note, boys. So I asked this when we always have a little bit of time, teeny bit of time left. But let's say it's your birthday and somebody is taking you out for dinner and you can pick anywhere you want to go in Kansas City. What fabulous restaurant are you being treated to? I think we all know that mine would be Jasper's because duh. But Cody, what's yours?
I love Jack Stack barbecue. Anything barbecue.
All barbecue all the time. Jacob, what about you?
All right, Jacob.
Okay, so it's going to be a long list, but we only have time for a couple. So if I want fried chicken, rye. If I want barbecue, Jack Stack. If I'm feeling a bagel, Meshuggah. Also, nice. If I feel like Thai food, lemongrass.
I've known you for 10 years and we've never once gone to Meshuggah Bagel. What is wrong with you? We are going. Let's go.
It's really centrally located. I wish more people would go and they would have more events there. I'd love for Meshuggah to teach like classes on bagels. But Michael, you are the MC, so I'm going to say something and then you close it out. But I really want to thank Bestway International and Evardy Construction for allowing us to do this show.
Thanks,
Michael.
Thanks,
you are the star. So what do you want to say as we sign off? And remember, we're going to wave at the cameras until it's off.
Well, wait, you still haven't clarified where you would go on your birthday.
I'll do this for Jacob because he would know it. It's called Hayward's Barbecue, which was by our houses growing up. So it was more nostalgic. It wasn't necessarily the food. It was more, you just remember it as a kid. And they are located in Lenexa now. So I wouldn't say it's show stopping, but it's something that's Kansas City. It's good.
So remember, dear viewers, today for all your IT needs, Cody Akins at Akins PC Repair. And if you want to be on a podcast or if you have a job opportunity for one Mr. Jacob Elyachar, give him a shout. Boys, we want to thank you so much for being on the show today. And as always, Scott Havens, thank you for co-hosting with me. It's so nice to fill in and pitch hit today. I appreciate the opportunity.
All right. Well, Sandra's going to turn off the show and we're going to wave at our cameras. So we're going to say bye.
Bye.